Hi, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break with Dr. Michele Alignay. We're going to talk about something that I think many of us are experiencing the past months and even just this month or recently or today or yesterday. And that is about anxiety. Ang tanong ko sa'yo, did you ever feel like nothing is uncertain? You're so swamped with that feeling hindi mo malaman kung bakit hindi ka mapakali. You cannot seem to settle yourself. It's just so hard to focus and you feel that you cannot ground your emotions on something and that you're being flooded by many what ifs, many other things happening. You have to check yourself because anxiety is a real emotion. So, yan yung pag-uusapan natin ngayong hapon. So, welcome friends to Coffee Break. So, I'm having coffee, real coffee, brewed coffee this afternoon. So, join me. And if you're here already, just say hi. It's going to be nice another week to talk about important matters at ang isa sa nakita ko na madalas mangyari when the stricter lockdown is starting, it's actually many people um, swim in their or they get flooded with their emotions and then they get flooded by too much what if, too much fear, too much of anxiety that we are experiencing. Okay, so I would like to ask you, for those of you who are here already, so were you ever anxious for the past 3 months? Did you ever get into this bout of anxiety? So friends who are here, can you answer that? Na, did you ever get anxious that everything is so uncertain that you cannot settle yourself? Nangyari na ba yan sa'yo? So if yes, tell me about it. Tell me, did you ever get anxious? And what is it that you feel triggered that anxiety? So yan ang maganda nating tanong. Kasi everyone gets anxious. I would like you to understand that anxiety is an emotion. It's actually an emotion. So, lahat tayo pinagdadaanan yan and it can happen anytime, anywhere. And, even the feeling of, for example, now we're consuming a lot of news of how the COVID-19 cases are increasing again. And then one friend would have, and then another friend would have. Um, we would have that. And of course, some people, like, for example, just before I went live, I was chatting with friend na who might have possible COVID in the family, or I was chatting with another friend this morning who was found to be positive, and all those can actually pad up to our emotions. But I would like you to check that anxiety is an emotion. It's characterized by tension, worried thoughts, but it manifests in physical changes. That's the big difference of anxiety with other feeling. Anxiety has two components. One is the mental or lahat ng naiisip natin or the things flooding our heads. And the other is actually physical. So it's an emotion, but because of too many things wrapped in our head, flooding our head, swamped in our head, can you relate with me? So isipin nyo, ano yung naiisip nyo when you're anxiety, when you're anxious, when your anxiety starts coming, ano yung mga thought patterns, ano yung mga very clear thoughts that's there, ano yung nandyan, what do you think? Saan posibleng galing yan? So tingnan natin, posibleng saan pa galing yung anxiety mo? Bakit ganyan na lang yung attack sa'yo, ganyan na lang yung dating sa'yo? And I would like you to check that because it's actually a lot of worried thoughts. Who would not be worried? COVID is increasing, and even for me, my biggest scare about 2-3 weeks ago, it's of course the fear that excessive rain brought about by the monsoon rains, and then the typhoon might cause flooding again. And then another is of course health scare. Simpleng sipon sa pamilya, simpleng ubo, it's actually causing us a lot of anxiety now. Dati hindi naman natin iniisip yun, but it can actually cause us anxiety now. So here, because of this, we have this feeling of uncertainty. And of course, even the lockdown has caused many of us to have to go through financial crisis. We go through financial crisis in this difficult situation. I would like us to look into that because all these anxieties are as referred to by the American Psychological Association. Anxiety is an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, may tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes. So, titingnan natin ano ba yung nangyayari sa atin. But let's capture anxiety. It's good to know that we are anxious. Friends, pag kayo ay when you get swamped by so many things, it's very good for you to recognize na okay, this is another bout of anxiety. I am feeling anxious. It's good for you to name it because what we cannot heal, as I always share with you, we cannot heal what we do not feel. We cannot tame what we do not name. So you have to label anxiety na naman to. So some signs of anxiety. Let me share with you some signs of anxiety. Wait. Before I move there, as I said earlier, everyone gets anxious. Most of us nagiging anxious tayo. Most of us tinatamaan tayo nito. But because it's simply an emotion. But what is the normal anxiety to the not normal anxiety? Yan ang magandang ma-differentiate natin. So the first one, the normal, if it's short-lived, maybe today you're anxious and tomorrow you're okay na ako. You're able to move on and pick up yourself and go. Because a normal sense of anxiety is needed because that's our survival mode. We need to make ourselves safe and in order to strive for safety. For example, na hala, uulan. So you would do things to be able to protect yourself from not to be to be drenched with the rain, 'di ba? So may survival mode tayo. So magla-lockdown ay magla-lockdown. So, anong ginagawa natin during lockdown? So, kailangan natin gawin, okay, yung anxiety na normal during lockdown is that it prompted us to do the grocery. Di ba, friend? Sino dito sa inyo na ang unang-unang inisip nung magla-lockdown? Nung itong ECQ or MECQ is that, okay, you have to get food to make sure that the family has the supply. Di ba? So, that's survival mode at the side of it's always at the side it's a feeling that will push you for safety. It's a feeling that will push us to be to be safe for us to survive. That is normal if it's going to propel us into something. But what is the unhealthy anxiety? Ito yung kailangan natin makita. So tignan mo nga yung aking mga friends, sa tingin nyo ba is your anxiety normal? The people here. Let's see here. Cecil, Lori, Amy, Glenda, Jean, Julia, Tracy, Glenda, Rose. Hi, Rose. Hi, Mia. So, tingnan mo, normal pa ba yung anxiety mo? Friends, kayong mga nandito, normal ba yung anxiety nyo? Paano natin malalaman kung hindi na siya healthy? This is it's not the normal anxiety anymore. It can lead you to a mental health issue called anxiety disorder or anxiety concern. The worry is more intense than what is appropriate. Yung okay na lahat, umaaraw na, hindi ka pa rin nakakalma because you're still afraid of the flood. So the worry is more intense than what is appropriate to the situation. Tagalogin natin, parang minsan parang it's overbearing or OA na. Ay, parang sobra. You don't, I would like you to recognize, don't belittle it. Na parang nagdadrama ka ba? Nag-emote ka lang ba? Nag-iinarte ba to? But in reality, it just might be a sign that, hey, it's something that I am recognizing that this is not normal for me. So also, it can last for a week, for a month. For example, bumaba na yung restrictions natin. For example, if we are in ECQ, nandun na tayo sa GCQ, yung high level of anxiety mo, nandun pa rin parang ECQ na parang lahat ng taong dadaan sa gilid mo is mapapasahan ka ng virus. So that's anxiety. That's severe anxiety. And thoughts in worry is hard to control. And many people who are undergoing severe anxiety, they cannot sleep because their thoughts on worry, their worry and overthinking keeps churning and churning, churning, and it's actually eating their heads. It's actually eating their system. But it's like chicken and egg. Kasi when you're anxious, and then you cannot sleep, it might, insomnia might be triggered, bababa lalo yung resistensya. At pag bumaba yung resistensya, mas lalong madaling magkasakit. So here, paikot-ikot yan. So it's actually interfering with your normal activities. In any mental health concern, what we need to note is this already interfering with normal activities. Like hindi ka na makatrabaho, hindi ka na makafocus sa project na ginagawa mo. You cannot even think anymore. You cannot even cook. You cannot even talk properly with the people in the house. So there you go. Those are the things. So friends, those of you who are watching, are you normal? Is that normal anxiety that you're feeling, or you think you might be bordering on severe anxiety? So I am doing this for us to check where we are at the present moment with so many uncertainties happening, with so many other things in the background, in the society, sa labas, na nangyayari, we have to check ourselves. So, what are the signs of anxiety? I will show you the signs of anxiety. Not show. I would share with you the signs of anxiety. So, some of the signs of anxiety, one is irritability. um, madaling mainis, madaling magalit. You just easily get irritated. So let's just say you're like cranky or ansungit na you're not usually like that. Maybe for women, sometimes we will have our monthly periods. Pero hindi na naman ito caused by the period, but it's still, you get irritable. Another is, yes, you have obsessive thoughts. You're so fixated on the flood. You're so fixated na this might happen, yun yung paulit-ulit mong nire-replace sa utak mo. And in effect, you have excessive worry. Yes, we worry, but it's on no longer the worry that we will push us to safety. It's the worry that will not go away anymore. And of course, panic. Kaya magkatabi minsan yung panic attack at saka anxiety attack. Because panic, you cannot think straight anymore, and you're simply panicking to make sure that you're safe, to make sure that your worst fears will not happen. Another is that difficulty concentrating and making decisions. Hindi makapag-decide. Nako, ang hirap niyan. Especially in the middle of a crisis situation. Tapos kailangan magdesisyon at we have to have clear minds. If the more that we're eaten up by our anxiety and the more that we cannot decide, the more it's going to be difficult for us. Another, fatigue. Pagod ka na. Honestly, nakakapagod naman talaga eh. Kasi sa kaiisip, sa sobrang overthinking, sa sobrang daming ginagawa ng utak, sa sobrang daming iniisip, we get too tired already. And that is one of another sign. Another is sleep disturbance. You cannot sleep well, you cannot think well, and then you cannot really settle. And then that is not healthy because in reality, the more that we have disrupted sleep, the more that our whole system will be affected. Adults, we still need 7 hours or more of sleep for us to be able to function well. So, one is irritability. Pakisabi nga sa akin, alin dyan yung meron kayo. Irritability, obsessive thoughts, excessive worry, panic, difficulty over concentrating and making decisions, fatigue or sleep disturbance. Of course, sinabi ko na to. And di ba, this is another topic that I had in coffee break, overthinking. Ang dami mo nang naisip, wala pang nangyayari, ni walang COVID sa paligid mo, pero sa isip mo, inisip mo na kung paano pag nagkaroon ka, anong mangyayari sa'yo. So you have to check that. That is overthinking. Other signs, I think there are more signs that I can share with you. Wait, okay. The others are actually more physical, like irrational fears. Yung hindi mo na ma-explain bakit yun yung naisip mo. Yung OA na talaga yung fear. Another is that heart palpitations, yan. Ito na yung naa-absorb na siya ng katawan natin. So yung irrational fears, that's very psychological, but when it becomes, well, sleep is actually a physiological disturbance already. So you have heart palpitations, you have muscle tension, hindi ka naman nagbuhat, hindi ka naman nag-weightlifting, pero bakit ganun yung tension ng muscles? So muscle tension, hypervigilance, withdrawal, you don't want to work anymore, you just don't want to do anything. Profuse sweating, ako one time I really experienced this. Yung profuse sweating, parang wow! And yung malamig na pawis, it can be actually causing anxiety. Shaking, difficulty breathing. Some are breath holders. Yung parang hindi nila na-realize that they're trying to hold their breath. And then the more that the breath cannot, the breathing cannot get into their head, hindi nag-circulate ng maayos. And of course, fear of losing control. And another symptom is gastrointestinal problems. So, di ba, we get upset stomach. Um, I remember when I was in college, the normal anxiety is that you're going to have a thesis defense. I remember me and my group mates and I were five. Parang all of us have to go to the bathroom just before our defense because that's normal. That is normal. That's the body's way of coping. But if you have excessive symptoms that are no longer healthy and no longer impacting your body so much, and then you have to check yourself. You have to check yourself. I would like you to understand that overcoming anxiety takes effort. Hindi yan, sometimes, we have a tendency. One is to over-spiritualize. Over-spiritualize meaning, you know what I mean. When I say over-spiritualize, it's like saying na parang, hindi, okay lang to. Yes, we are I for one, I know that God is in control. God will take all our worries away, but we need to do our part. See, Lord, He operates not in a way of magic, but God operates when we cooperate. God operates when we cooperate. When we take steps, the Lord bless that step, or He provides ways. So, anxiety is actually a conscious effort. Anxiety is actually a conscious effort. We have to recognize na pag tayo we were anxious, we have to catch it. Remember what I said? We have to name it. Can you say name it? O, diba? Hi, Kier. Yes, Mia. God operates when we cooperate, and including in our mental health issue. We have to do that. We have to overcome feelings of anxiety, and it takes conscious effort. Kaya importante that we name it. We have to capture it. We have to say it. Oh my, this is anxiety again. I am anxious. Okay, kailangan sabihin. Can you say that with me? This is anxiety. You have to really label it, and you have to declare it. And how can we overcome? We just have to really name it first. And then we're not supposed to over spiritualize na, Lord, take my anxiety away. Because siguro sabihin ni Lord, ang dami-dami mong iniisip dyan sa utak mo, tapos sasabihin mo, tanggalin ko. Kailangan tayong gumawa ng paraan para the Lord can help us tame it. So here, it's normal to feel anxious. I would like you to realize that it's normal to feel anxious. But learning coping strategies for dealing with anxiety can help prevent anxiety from becoming a mental health issue. I'll repeat. Oo. Sister Jessica, hi! Sabi mo nga, kailangan mabinyagan din pala para mapanghawakan. Opo, parang batang binibinyagan. Kailangan hawakan at buhusan ng tubig, di ba? So what we name, we can tame. I always share that with you. And gusto ko yung kinapture ni Mia. She said, God operates when we cooperate. Because that is very true. And in anxiety, it's hard because kaya nga tayo anxious because there's something outside of us. There's an uncertainty that we cannot label, that we cannot name. Basta hindi okay, hindi ako okay. But we have to do something. We really have to do something. So here, It's normal to feel anxious. So coping strategy is important for us to deal with it. So ang kailangan natin makita, one, we name it. The second is really do not over spiritualize. But let me just share with you. The other day, I got this email from the Feast Conference, which is happening in November. And then meron silang email. The theme is joyful, joyful. And I like the quote eksakto sa pinag-uusapan natin from Psalm 94:19. When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy. So hindi automatic when anxiety is great within us, your consolation will bring us joy. So, on moments of anxiety, hindi na lang basta lalaglag si Lord ng ng solusyon. We have to the way that anxiety operate is that our heads are full of worries. So we have to use that same head, that same mind, our thought patterns in our brain to be able to identify what are we grateful for. To identify, kailangan natin gawa ng effort na, okay, where can I anchor today? Okay, I will name it. I will not over spiritualize, but I know when anxiety was great within me, God's consolation will bring me joy. That's Psalm 94:19. So Lord, tulungan mo po ako today na makita ang mga bagay na pinapaalala mo sa akin, makita ang mga blessing ko today. So both of the Lord, we would cooperate with God's grace for us to see. Hindi yan bababa, walang placard na galing langit. Ang placard ay nasa lupa. So you have to really realize na kailangan natin tulungan ng sarili natin. And the irony of anxiety is that it whips mind and the body. Diba? I said it's actually connected to our heads, but it's actually connected to our physical state. It whips our mind and body into a state of readiness for action all the tension we feel. Parang nire-ready niya tayo to survive. Parang, okay, bring it on, ECQ, or ready na ako. So, meron tayong ganong state. So, parang ready to act. You encounter that? Did you ever have those moments that your anxiety will keep you on your toes? For example, si Mommy Angela. Love you, Mom. I miss you too. Si Mommy Angela, she's an events coordinator. So, in her work, that level of anxiety will bring her on your toes and to cover the grounds, to cover all the details of an event, to be able to make sure that everything will work well. So, it whips our mind into a state of readiness. So, nakakapagod, utak at katawan yung kailangan. But it's normal if that happened. But the irony of it tends to render people incapable of doing anything, instead seeking safety in avoidance. Yun yung nakakatawa. Because some people, what happens is that they get stuck. And instead of being on their toes for survival or for safety, they go the other way. Hindi na nila maisip ang dapat isipin and they avoid the situation altogether. Can you relate with what I'm saying? So either it whips our mind to be ready and alert, or it makes us incapable of doing anything to the point of being safe because we're just avoiding the situation. Friends, avoiding the situation, okay lang kung isa, dalawang oras, but prolonged non-confrontation of a situation of a concern, it's never healthy. We are not helping anyone if this happens. So if it's normal anxiety, that we have, what I would like, as I said earlier, one, we can name it. The second is that don't over spiritualize. And then the third is that you have to take steps. As I said, we need to operate with God. Ano nga ba yun? What is it that I say? God operates when we cooperate. And how do we do that? We have to take small steps forward. If this is the feeling of anxiety, I have to find something to anchor it on. We want ourselves to be managed. We want to manage our anxiety, but we don't want anxiety to to flood us or to manage us. So, we have to learn some new patterns of thinking and doing na alam ko, pag ito na yung sitwasyon, ito yung nangyayari sa akin. So, unahan na natin, lalo na yung mga OC at overthinker dito or yung mga Marthas like me who want things covered, unahan na natin. So, ang tendency ko is that when a situation happens, alam ko nagsisimula na ako. So, kumbaga, mag-pacing na kayo. Learn some new patterns. Or, for example, oh, okay, I can do breathing exercises. I have to learn breathing exercises because I always hold my breath whenever crisis situation would come. And that's another way of doing it. We have to anchor it on something and we have to explore new ways of doing things and relaxation strategies. Hindi tayo magre-relax because of anxiety. 'Di ba? What we just need to learn is to find ways to be able to support ourselves so that we're managing the anxiety rationally, but we don't want anxiety to manage us. Does that make sense? I would leave you with this quote for today. This is a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. He said that ease anxiety, I would like to point it out. Easing anxiety is like sipping your tea. He said, Thich Nhat Hanh said, drink your tea, and in my case, I'm drinking coffee today. Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if the axis on which the world revolves, slowly, evenly, without rushing towards the future. I think many of us are actually anxious because we're rushing too much on things that are not yet happening in the future that lies, and we are trying to grasp things that are beyond the human mind and even beyond our control. That is why we are swimming in a we are being flooded with so many thoughts. So please, friends, in this difficult situation, alam kong paulit-ulit, nasa version 3 na tayo ng ECQ. Drink your tea slowly. Find ways to do that and make it as if the axis of the world revolves around you, slowly, evenly, without rushing towards the future. Um, I like that Bible quote that says, do not worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has worries of its own. I myself had, you know, some bouts of anxiety for the past weeks. Ako mismo ang daming parang swimming in this flood of anxiety, concern, and worries. But that's why I think this is a very fitting topic. Uh, Oo, Mia, sa sobrang slowly malamig na siya 'pag naalala ko inumin. Kaya lang hawakan mo nga yung kape, 'di ba? So, hawakan mo saka mo inumin dahan-dahan, hindi yung parang gusto mo siyang gawing ano, gawing energy drink. There. So, what I would like you to realize is that I myself went through anxiety and parang, okay, I told the Lord, okay, let me focus on you again. So each day, when we say that I let me focus on you again. We have to really consciously move from away from the thoughts that making us anxious. We have to slowly move, step aside, and then tell ourselves, wait, you're not too okay today, so you have to do some other things that will make it different, will make you less anxious. Or it's okay to be anxious, namnamin mo muna, pero mamaya, find ways and means. So, you know, let's share with each other. Let's share with each other. As we end, let us share with each other the mantras that we hold. Pag kayo anxious, ano ang sinasabi nyo? Ako kanina sinabi ko, Lord, let me focus on you and not on the plan. Let me focus on you and not on my worries. Kasi, di ba, nakakalunod talaga ang overthinking that will just, pad up our anxiety. So, can you share with me your mantra? Ako, I really like also that Bible verse that do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has worries of its own. We're not saying that we don't plan, but we don't overly be fixated to be to the point of obsession with the future. Kasi hindi pa atin yon, but the Lord is already there. So share with me, friends, what are your hawak, ano yung kapit nyo, what are the verses, what are the thought patterns that you hold on to whenever you feel anxious. God is in control. Let's have faith over fear. These two shall pass. Ako minsan, I tell myself, one day at a time, one step at a time. I remember, I remember when I was so flooded with dissertation writing, way back when I was doing my dissertation. My good friend and editor, Jing Lejano, told me, girl, alam kong lunod na lunod ka dahil napakarami mong isusulat. I have a 400-page dissertation. 12, font size 12, double space. Sabi niya sa akin, this is what I offer you as a writer, as an editor. And she told me, one sentence at a time. One sentence is built up of words, and each word is built up of letters. So, one sentence at a time, one word. So, I also tell myself one step at a time. And yan, tinitingnan ko kung ano yung mga, Lord, let me focus on you again. Thank you, Mia. Maria Cynthia, these two shall pass through. Mantra, Lord, take over. Lord, hindi ko kaya. This is where I stop and this is where you become Lord. Yes, gusto ko to. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. These two shall pass. What's Philippians 4:13, Ma'am Glenda? May, Lord, I offer my life to you. Take charge and take control. This is no way but up. Yes, Yeng, that's true. Jake, be still and know that I am God. Jai Jet, let go and let God. Yes, I can do all things. Yeah, I think that's a Philippians 4:13. Yeah, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Friends, kanya-kanya tayo. Ako ngayon, my favorite is na one step at a time. Lord, let me focus on you rather than focus on other things. We need to do that. We need to do our part. We need to walk our way so that God can help us. Yes, tama yan, Mia. And yan yung isang magandang anchor. When we're anxious, as you said, I try to remember my blessings. Mas maraming dapat ipagpasalamat kaysa ipag-worry. Tumpak. I agree with you, dear friend. Pag-worry ako, alam ko na hindi ko naman kontrolado. And I always remember this statement that the Lord told me, and I will share that with you. Kailan ba kita pinabayaan? Yes, we admit it. Mahirap minsan. Nahirapan din naman tayo. Pero ang sabi ni Lord, in one of those big decisions that I would do, ang sabi ni Lord sa akin, napakasimple ng sinabi niya, kailan pa kita pinabayaan? Ang dami mong arte. Ang dami mong ngaw-ngaw. Gusto na lang siguro sabihin ni Lord, ang dami mong gustong mangyari. Ang dami mong iniisip. Pero simple lang naman, kailan kita pinabayaan? So, I always would capture that. I remember when he said that, I had a breakthrough decision. Lord, paano pag ganito? Paano pag ganito? Paano pag ganito? And then I was walking in Greenbelt, and then that's pre-pandemic. I passed by Greenbelt Chapel, and exactly that was the time that there's mass and then there's concentration. And then I look at the cross, and then that's the impression that came to me. Ang sabi niya, Lord, Michelle, kailan kita pinabayaan? And I always would capture that moment. Friends, we have to find our anchors. We have to find our course. And we need to do our part. Hindi lang yan uupo ka, tapos Lord, bahala ka na. We need to do something. We need to do our part. Because that is how we deal with anxiety. That's how we normalize anxiety. And then I will just try to see this last one. Lad, I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. Gusto ko kumanta, when oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. Agree. Thank you too. I need to find my anchor. Grace, I say, Jesus, King of Mercy, I trust in you. Yes, alam nyo, kanya-kanya tayo, but thank you for sharing. And I would like to just do some announcement. On Thursday, let's do the part 2 on what can we do. What can we do to handle anxiety better? What else can we do to further to further manage your anxieties. And then I would like to announce I am running this Martha's Pause Body and Being Workshop on September 18th. September pa yan, but we're running an early bird rate. Yes, there's an early bird rate until August 15th. So if you register in this link, so you can also find this in my Facebook page. If you register in that link and you settle your um, registration and your payment, you will get that early bird rate for that amazing workshop that I'm going to do online. Of course, we need to all be safe. Another thing is that I'm celebrating my birthday this month, and I'm running this 21 at 2021 days to midlife and mental health. So friends, kung makikita niyo yung mga post ko in my Instagram, Michelle Alignay, and also in my Facebook page, each day I post about things that can help our mental health and can help us in our journey to midlife, especially for women and men who are my age, who are undergoing all these changes and challenges. So we need to remind ourselves that how can we support our journey to mental health during midlife. And that's my way of just sharing myself and that's my way of celebrating my birthday. And then lastly, I would like to encourage you friends to support me in this coffee break session by sending stars. Stars are the digital gift that you can give and share using the comment section. If you see the stars there, they are digital gifts that you send for me to be able to sustain doing coffee break and sharing the good message. And what I would like to share with you, the blessings that you share with me are just doesn't end with me. I pass it on to my two favorite mercy ministries, especially this month. I'm celebrating my birthday. I'm gonna pass it to them, to the Anna Wim Foundation and to the Jeremiah Foundation of the Light of Jesus Mercy Ministry. So I hope, friends, that this episode on anxiety has helped you. We will continue with our discussion on Thursday. Please let me know if there's something that you learned today. Is there something that you would like to capture today? Is there something that would help you ease your anxiety today? What would it be? Can you put that in the comment? Ilagay nyo nga dyan sa comment section. Ano yung isang bagay na kahawakan mo para ang anxiety natin, we could put it under Jesus' feet. We can just ask the Lord to bless us. We can just ask the Lord to journey with us, to hold hand with us dahil hindi niya tayo pinabayaan. Our anxieties are tools for us for safety. Our anxieties are tools for us, but it's not supposed to be overpowering us. And I hope that this coffee break session has helped you. Share this to family and friends. Don't forget to subscribe also here in Michelle Agnay Facebook page. You can also please subscribe in the YouTube channel, which runs the same thing, and catch me also in my Instagram and in Spotify. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. See you on Thursday. And don't forget, please, ladies, join me in my workshop. We have limited slots. We are running on early bird until August 15. And I hope that we bless each other here at Coffee Break. Magandang hapon and God bless everyone.